we want to celebrate, for instance. And then the other one is also to give some respite to workers, to rest. And it has its advantages also. Whether it is one too many or not depends on how you look at it. Okay, because in some countries, for instance, I know one of the in one Asian country has about 37 holidays in the year. For instance, I think that is the highest.
Nepal has 39.
39, for instance. Yes. But they have a 6 working day, a 6 working week. Okay, 6 day working week. We have 5. And so you have to know the balance. How do we balance it? But it has its advantages also. And of course, it has its disadvantages.
Disadvantages, because almighty United Kingdom has a United Kingdom does 8 days, 8 to 10 days of holidays. In Ghana, we are, but you know, generally on the African continent, we do an average of 12 days. Most people do 12 days.
Yes, I think Ghana we are doing 13.
We are doing 13.
With 2 commemorative days, so making it 15.
Approximately. Yeah. Okay, great. So I'm happy you mentioned the reasons why government will want to declare a particular holiday for us not to forget the significance, whether culturally or politically, as it were. Let's walk through Ghana's holidays, as it were. If you have background to why it was given, you can help viewers to appreciate. So I'm going to arrange it from the beginning of the year.
Yes, maybe before we go there, let me just quickly add that as the name connotes, these are festival days, okay? They were supposed to be holy days that were set aside for religious commemorations. For us, over the years, it has become holidays. So these are very important days for us here. So
great. So let's start with the holy days, with the religious commemoration. So January 1, 1st January.
1st January may not be a religious one. That is a secular one because it is based on the Gregorian calendar. And that is the first day of the year. And as the first day of the year, I think it's a significant one for that matter, telling us that we are now transiting from the old year into a new year. And you know, it is normally how will you put it, marked with some pomp and pageantry. So the preparation starts from the 31st, and by the 1st, people keep a vigil to see the new year. And therefore, it only makes sense that after keeping vigil over the whole night, then that first day, you stay at home and rest, and then prepare yourself, psych up your mind for the year now. So that is the significance of it. Of
1st January, day 1. Then in Ghana here, then we come to January 7th.
January 7th.
Constitution Day.
Exactly. A recent one for that matter.
Yes.
Which was commemorated by Act 869 or so of 2019. So these years keep fucking us up. Sorry. 2019. So the importance is that I think the Akufo-Addo government realized that now we are in the 4th Republic, and this 4th Republic has outlasted any republic that we have had in Ghana here. In fact, the constitution has been the most durable constitution we have used, even in colonial to in independence era, and therefore it needs some sort of commemoration. There's a need for citizens to keep their mind and think about the ideals, the objectives, and the principles of the constitution. So that day, let us rest at home. After all, every 4 years, we are supposed to inaugurate a new president. And so that is also an opportunity for citizens to sit down, to watch the inauguration, listen to the president, and then know exactly what the president has for us in stock if it falls on a weekday, so that people will not miss out on it.
But the name, Dave, the name Constitution Day, I thought it was a day where people should study the Constitution.
Yes, the Constitution, you can study the Constitution at any time, but it's a day for us to keep in mind the principles and objectives of the Constitution, okay, the ideals, and that you can get these ones when you go into the preamble of the Constitution. And the most important ideals we have over there are what is written in the first paragraph of the preamble, which says that we Ghanaians, we have the inalienable right, and we want this government for ourselves and posterity. And what is it that we want for ourselves and posterity? That is liberty, equality of opportunity, and then prosperity. So we want citizens to keep these things in mind. Apart from that, when you go down, you have accountability, probity, equality, rule of law, and all those values, principles and values all listed over there. So it's a day for us to focus on these principles and objectives. And I always say, when you go to the chapter 6, directive principles of state policy, you get all the objectives of the Constitution over there. So it is not a day set aside to read the Constitution, but it's a day set aside to rehash these principles and objectives and the values that we keep so much that we have kept in the Constitution, so that we know that this document is a very, very important document for us, okay, as Ghanaians, and therefore let us focus on it on that day. Even though we as NCC are advised that every day is a day to read the Constitution, because if you don't read the Constitution, you are not a Ghanaian.
A Ghanaian, very well. Then comes March 6th.
Yes, Independence Day, a very iconic day. In fact, I was just thinking, I was somewhere outside the country so many years back when somebody mentioned 6 March, okay, just 6 March, and the reaction it had from me, I jolted and I looked in that direction, and the person was talking about a different thing, but it tells you that 6 March is ingrained in the subconscious of Ghanaians as the day we gained independence from our colonial masters, the British government, okay, and apart from being a day for independence, mind you, in 1844, it was that very 6 March that the chiefs in the Gold Coast,
the Bond of 1844.
The Bond of 1844, where the Mankesim, those Anomabu chiefs came together to have this Bond of 1844 and try to have some sort of agreement that will show modern governance, okay? So 6 March is a very important day for Ghanaians. So that day, we think about our Ghanaianness, we think about the sacrifices that our forebears had gone through to gain this independence for us. And what it tells us is that we also need to do more to sustain the country that we have. 6 March becomes a rallying point for our Ghanaianness. Okay. So that is the day Ghana became. Before then, we were a subjected people. We were not known as Ghanaians, we were known as Gold Coasters, okay, or either British subjects. But from 6 March 1957, we became Ghanaians. And that's a very significant day for us to look at.
Some have argued it's the major point of all our holidays.
It's the major point of all. If we cancel all holidays, not 6 March.
Not 6 March.
And even if we want to reduce the cost, we must commemorate it in a way, because it tells us it is like your birthday, okay? I even think it's more important than each of us our birthday, because that is the day that Ashanti ceased to be. That's the day Gang state ceased to be. That's the way Ewe state ceased to be. That's the way Dagbon ceased to be. And we all subsumed our statehood or our sovereignty under Ghana, giving it that national sovereignty that surpasses any other power within the recognized territories of Ghana. So 6 March is a very, very important day for us. And it's also a day for us to reflect not only on the Constitution, but on our Ghanaianness. Because of our diversity, we have different diversity. What do I do as a Ghanaian to contribute to the promotion of Ghana? As an Ewe, do I have to indulge myself in hate speech? Do I have to say something against the Ghana? Do I have to say something against the Dagbani? We are all one people, mind you, and therefore 6 March becomes a rallying point. As I said, you just try it. Go outside Ghana. See a group of people, black people, just mention 6 March. All those who will look at you, I tell you, maybe Ghanaians.
Maybe Ghanaians. Then in March, in March comes the next one, which is usually religious in nature.
Yeah.
That is Eid al-Fitr, the Muslims observe. And so that one,
the days change.
They change, depending on the
lunar calendar
that you're able to spot the moon. Then another religious one which comes in April also changes. It varies.
Exactly.
Whether they send, which is the
Easter, the Good Friday, and the Easter celebration for the Christians.
For the Christians, so they have the Good Friday, they have the Easter Monday. But with all these, you mentioned the religious significance of these holidays, but isn't really necessary. Independence, big deal. Constitution Day, big deal. Religious holidays, are they really?
You and I agree that we are not here by chance.
Because Ghana is a secular state.
Yes,
mind you.
But we are very religious. Our constitution allows for religious liberty, for us to worship our God any way in the manner in which we deem fit, provided it does not infringe on the human rights of any other person. We have the right to any religion. And we know that Christianity and Islam are the two leading religions in Ghana. And therefore, if we put their important days as part of our public holidays, it is very, very important, because, mind you, over 77 out of every 10 Ghanaian you see is a Christian, okay? And at least 2 of every Ghanaian you see is a Muslim. The rest are also religious. Maybe we may have to find time to give the traditional.
I was coming also, to say that
also one day
to play the devil's advocate, the equality before the law.
But the point is, whose holiday are we going to? Are we going to take the Gans Tuesday that you don't go to the sea, or we are going to take some other ethnic groups' holiday or significant day? So it becomes a problem, because we have so many forms of the traditional religion. It will be difficult to agree on one. Unless, of course, maybe through the National House of Chiefs, they may agree that let us have a one day for all traditional worshippers, that this day will be one for us. Until they do that, I think we are okay with the religious holidays that we have in Christianity and in Islam. And mind you, this year we've added one more day, okay, to it, because I think the reasoning is that the festivities begin in the evening, the preparations begin in the evening and end on the following day. And therefore, if I'm going to start the preparations today, I think the Muslims can thank government that they've given them that day to prepare and then start the whole celebration till the following day.
If you live in a predominantly Muslim community, or let's say somewhere up north, the additional day is really a big deal.
It is.
Because you have employees or you have workers in an institution who must take their religious holiday, and it is dependent on the sighting of the lunar, on the lunar kind of sighting of the moon. So some might come today, the others tomorrow, but they are all celebrating Salah, so they don't report to work. It becomes, so I'm sure with this it's going to clear. The Minister of Interior has come up with a circular telling us that a day has been added to the. Is it going to be same for Eid al-Adha? That makes it 2 holidays.
Because I suspect it's going to be so, because the formula is the same. Even though Eid al-Adha is the bigger of the two, but the celebration begins from the evening and ends the following day evening. And so if we are going to make room for them,
for the fitr,
for the other, that is the
we are now doing the fitr.
We are now going to do the fitr.
Yes.
So one day has been added to the fitr, which is the smaller of the two. And therefore it only makes sense that when we go into the bigger one, you should give us one more day. I'm playing the devil's advocate.
Then we move to one other day that we celebrate, May 1st.
Yeah. The International Workers' Day. Yes, it's a day set aside to recognize the trials, the frustrations, how will I put it, all the sufferings that the working class have faced over the years. And so it is one day that has been set aside, and it's very important that we commemorate it to get our rest. Mind you, and this will give me opportunity to talk about how it relates to workers. Now, you work every day, and after some time, you realize that you are writing a report, the ideas are not coming, okay? You keep writing, you keep typing, you are burning out. You are concentrating too much on work. And now research has also shown that the brain even works while we are sleeping, and it even works better. So the idea is that if you have one day off, you are not working, you are just doing some leisure, the brain may actually even rejuvenate and come out with better ideas for you to come. So you are overcoming your burnout, you are overcoming your stress, and then you come back to work energized as ever.
So that is the May 1.
Yes.
May 1 there for us. So it's for workers to rest, as it were, or get out from the stress they might have been going through.
There's a lot of stress, especially if your work is demanding.
Demanding, very, very. Yes. Then the next one we have on a Ghanaian calendar is the AU Day. African.
Yeah, I think the AU Day now has become a commemorative. It's no more a holiday, according to the Holidays Act amended as 2019.
It's going to remain so. It's going to remain commemorative,
unless it is amended again.
Okay.
Because that day was the day set aside in 1958 for the first time that the independent African countries met at a congress in Ankrah here, and that day was chosen. That then let us take that day as Africa Day. And if that is Africa Day, we are talking about Pan-Africanism. What are the things we can do to unite ourselves as a people so that the African personality can be enhanced? So that is a day for us to reflect on it, think about people like Kwame Nkrumah, Du Bois, W.E.B. Du Bois, George Padmore, and people like that who were all fighting for Pan-Africanism. I don't know where that dream is now, but if we still have that dream, it's a day for us to commemorate it and think seriously about it and bring about unity in this our continent.
I hope our viewers today hear that you nearly said Bob Marley in the Pan-Africanism.
Yeah, Bob Marley is an African. He's a Pan-Africanist too. He's talking about Africa Unite and all that. That is Pan-Africanism.
So that is the AU Day that we will now commemorate. We will now commemorate. Then next, that we are now in June, that will come Eid al-Adha. Eid al-Adha will come. Then we don't have any. There used to be Republic Day.
Yes, there used to be a Republic Day, which was a very, very important day. I mean, marking the middle of the year, where at least when we were growing up, what we know is that Republic Day, we go to the beach in Ankrah and swim ourselves out and come back. But it's a very, very important day, And I understand why it was taken off, because now we have Constitution Day, which is all talking about the Republic. So the 1st July is a Republican Day, which says that now we are a sovereign people. We are no more a colonial people. Even though Kwame Nkrumah declared in 1957 that we are no more a colonial people, the Queen was still the head of state. That means we didn't have sovereignty. Whatever we did, it had to be, the buck stopped with the Queen in England. But then on 1st July 1960, we were able to gain Republican status, meaning that now we were a free people completely. We could self-determine. We are our own people. Moving forward, we can do whatever we want, including, as some skeptics will say, mismanage our own affairs.
So it is now commemorative.
Yes, it is now commemorative.
Then we have August 4.
August 4.
Founders with the apostrophe, the S in front.
Yes, the plural.
The plural. Founders Day.
The plural.
August 4.
And I have said here last week that I agree with both arguments. I agree with the plural. I agree with the singular. Whichever goes is good with me, because definitely one person cannot found a nation. But then we need one person to lead the charge. So both arguments are correct. So 4th August 1947, that is the day the first political party with the aim of fighting for Ghana's independence, which I will say when we went into the militant kind of nationalism, was formed. That is the United Gold Coast Convention, the UGCC. Okay, that was when the first political party was formed. And we all know that all the bases all belongs to that political party, including Kwame Nkrumah, and then Park Grant of blessed memory. So it's a very, very important day for us to commemorate. And today we are in a multi-party democracy. It's even more important because it shows us that political parties are the ones that are giving us the leaders. And so that is a very important day for us to commemorate. Also.
Viewers, if you are just joining us, this is the state, and today we are looking at the Ghana's public holidays. We are unpacking the significance of the holidays and looking at the debate as to whether it fuels unproductivity, trying to make us lazy because we are hectic and we need this, we need that, and why do we want to rest when there's work to be done? We are looking at it. It's in the light of the additional holiday that has been added for our brothers and sisters, the Muslims, in their celebration, particularly the close one, that is Eid al-Fitr. So we are joined in the studio by the National Commission for Civic Education's Greater Accra Regional Director, Mauli Agbenu. And he's helped us. We've looked at each of the holidays that we have in Ghana statutorily. We looked from 1st January. We are now on August 4th, and he's given us the historical background to August 4th, Founders Day, Founders Plural Day. So you are not late. We have a few to do the statutory holidays. Then we'll look at the significance. Why should we celebrate it? The positives and the negatives. So don't move, crap, because we are just getting deep into the holidays and the history behind them. So Dave, we did August 4th.
Yes.
The next one is September 21st.
Yes.
Founders Day, Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Day.
Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Day. Very important day, considering the exploits and achievements of that individual called Dr. Kwame Nkrumah Osajifo. So this is a day for us to look at the ideals. What did he stand for? How can we learn from his exploits? You know, coming from a very humble beginning, he was able to rise to the highest level of president and even become the African personality of a whole century. When other great men like Mandela were even alive, people chose Kwame Nkrumah over him. It shows you the kind of personality that we are looking at over here. So on that day is a day for us to look at the ideals. What are his ideals? Commitment to hard work, modesty, being a simple person, not being extravagant in terms of your ambition to achieve things for your personal self, but rather to achieve for your people. That selflessness, that the need to ensure that you acquire knowledge to free yourself, not to acquire knowledge to impose yourself on others or to make other people fear you because you have acquired knowledge. But his knowledge that he acquired became a torch that led to the independence of many other African countries apart from Ghana. Mind you, he was the one that became the first prime minister, the first black person to be the leader of a government entity in the whole world in 1951. Okay, at the young age of 42 years. So this man, this is an extraordinary gentleman who was able to wrestle power from the British without firing a shot. In other parts of the world, India, for instance, they had some struggle. Even though later on we had Mahatma Gandhi come with the, the non-violence and all that. But in Africa, when you look at Africa, Ghana showed a path that you can gain independence without really going into guerrilla warfare. And we have Kwame Nkrumah to praise for that. And in his own personal life, how he led his life, you know. I understand when he was in university in Pennsylvania, for instance, he was preaching. He was a pastor as well. Okay, that means the guy is multi-talented and multifaceted kind of life, the kind of work he did to educate himself. So that is a day that we encourage all young Ghanaians to read about Kwame Nkrumah. When you read about, don't read too much into the politics of him. Read into his personal life and you say, how did he come up from such a low level, from such a humble family to become such an iconic human being in the whole world that will even capture the attention of CIA. So that's a great guy.
So that is the 21st of September.
Yes.
I think the next the significant one will be Farmers' Day.
Farmers' Day.
First Friday of December.
First Friday of December. Such a wonderful thing. Without farmers, you and I will not be here. Okay? The food we eat, we are made up of the food the farmers make. Even the clothes we wear comes from our vegetation. Therefore, it's a very, very important day that was established in 1988 by the PNDC. And we have to, and it's good that in the Fourth Republic, we have kept that day. And I think it has been rotated under the Akufo-Addo government. They were rotating it. And I was happy that when I was in Bolga, for instance, I can't remember the year it was held in Bolgatanga. I think either 2022 or 2023. It was held in Bolgatanga, and the national farmer drove off his pickup very happy. It's a very great day to honor farmers. It also gives, how will I put it, hope to young people who want to go into farming. Unfortunately, in Ghana, farming is now seen as not too attractive. Okay, therefore, many people do not go into farming. If you go into farming, you have to go the extra mile to convince people that, look, I'm doing well. Like we see the Deputy Minister for Agriculture, for instance, doing on Facebook, trying to make it attractive to people, that farming is a very, very important thing. And you don't blame Ghanaians, because even in school, when we're growing up, sometimes when you are being punished, you are asked to go and weed. So we look at it as if it is a punishment. But farming is the source of our existence. When you go to Europe, some of the youngest millionaires you find, they are farmers. They are farmers, 22, 23 years, they have huge farms, they have everything that they need. They don't need to acquire all the degrees that they need, but they are putting a lot of productivity into the system. So it is a very important day for us to look at. That Farmers' Day is good to make farming a productive kind of exercise, so that we all can go into farming, reduce the cost of living, and make Ghanaians a better people as time goes on.
Let's delve a bit into history or memory lane. I'm trying to recall who introduced the celebration of Farmers' Day. We came to meet Jerry John Rawlings.
Yeah, Jerry Rawlings.
Commemorated 1988.
Yes.
And it started with the best farmer getting Wellington boots and cutlasses. And now
they have pickups and tractors
and houses of their choice.
Houses of their
location of their choice.
Exactly.
But the argument has been made that I'm bringing these out because of the should I say the passion you put into Farmers' Day. But for farmers, how would we have fed ourselves as a people, so that we recognize the role of farmers in not only our economy, but our very existence, our very existence. Some have argued that it is not really the farmers who are awarded. It's the people who put money into farming. That is how come you don't see the real people farming. Just under 1 minute.
You see, I laugh because we still look at farming as you must physically go and do it. That is making it many people feel that, well, I don't want to go and do that way because my brother, it's not easy. Eh? When you try to farm, you have the pain, your back pain, and all those kind of things. Yes, so it's not that attractive. But if you put in money where we can do some research and get better equipment for us to use over here. For instance, I have a friend in Upper East who is into large-scale farming. And you know what he does? He doesn't use tractors. He went to India to procure this little kind of tractor that he holds by the hand. And he's able to meander through the tree stumps and do this and do the farming. Yes, so it is hard work, but then if you put money into it also, it is welcome. We call all those also farming. Yes, farmers. Yes.
Yeah, they are farmers. We've chronicled the 13 holidays in Ghana. So we have really been educated on that. We will take a quick break, and when we are back, we'll look at the significance and then we'll unpack the debate on the productivity question. Don't go away, stay tuned.
That's a home foul. Coconut IMT. Anyway, if you Mr. Pace. Oh, this may not go be test be or any capsules. So the mawa, say you cocoa, IMT, wifey menstrual pains and estimate. Namasin and say wifey yare or choir sabia, and no mercy when you're malaria. Me call ya no mammy malamis. Me buy an and ben malamis say wifey. And you don't know what to see, say, me cry when yamekwa. Or mammy tonic be. Bra. Mrs. said, me share to move.
Hey, honey, into a baba na can want some son.
Oh, baby. Oh, my baby. And did you wear ya? Shannon, open for or bad time, or my abofrano for, and I abofra only in fear do me 8 me for said
Obenya biato I will pharmacy shop, herbal shops, any over-the-counter medicine at to phone for 0599 415191 0544 174461 and 0208 161800.
Nyansa, it's Shannon Peninano. And I am in Penano. The baby bear and Penfuashia, Nay Shire Junior. Ne open Yansano, or Ben Wa, or dear good year, Child Junior good year, and a coffee. The near Sergeant, and some more drop, and some polo, and somewhere, ye tear bobra, a quay ye. Frasi efifrito ne open yansa no omengwa nkwanu ase ne mpani so ayadwene ne be nhira amano ene ne nchirima yada mo ase
ja impanyini inso ayadwene jemre na hweyen memninde ne memninde bia anopa no wotwe wo Wesleyan television so.
Welcome back from the break, and if you are just joining us, we've been looking at Ghana's public holidays. We've been informed by the Minister of Interior that an additional day has been added to the Muslim holidays, Eid al-Fitr starting, so there's one more holiday. And we've been getting involved in the debate as to whether the holiday is one too many. Some say that it fuels on productivity, and Ghana is a developing country. We don't need so many holidays. Not trying to appreciate the fact that some countries have as many as 39 holidays, others do less. But some asking, Ghana, why do you have so many holidays when there is work to be done? We've been looking at the significance, so we started chronicling the holidays that we have. Ghana has approximately about 13 holidays. We've looked at all of them, the historical antecedents that informed why government settled on these holidays, be it religious, cultural, or political. We've looked at all of them, all the 13 of them. And the Regional Director for Greater Accra of the National Commission for Civic Education, Mauli Agbenu, has helped us to appreciate. He has the history in his head, and he's walked us through and given us the significance eloquently. So that is where we have looked at the 13 holidays. You've not missed, should I say you have not? You have, because the history you might not hear again unless you go and replay after the show. So Mauli, welcome back from the break. Now let's look at the positives of public holidays.
Great. So public holidays now stand like a day set aside for our ethnic groups where we have festivals. Okay, it's a day for us to commemorate, think about the philosophies, the principles that went into a particular event, okay, or why that day was chosen. So it's a day to reflect on the significance of that day. And then, so it is like now a national festival for us all as Ghanaians. Mind you, I told you that we are a diverse nation with different ethnicities. And these public holidays give us a particular day for us all to think of us as one, because it is a Ghanaian holiday. It is not an Asante holiday. It is not an Ewe holiday, nor is it a Guruni holiday. It is a Ghanaian holiday. So that is the significance. It shows us that it bonds us as Ghanaians, as one people. The second thing is also that it gives us opportunity to bond with our friends and family, okay? Because that day you are not going to work, so you will have time, you'll be at home, you chat with your children, maybe your cousins will come over, you may invite them to come and take some workplay and some tozafi or whatever it is that you guys want to do. It's a time for bonding, and then to look at, because we have a very, very busy week. Sometimes some people work from at dawn till evening, and even over the weekends they go to school, so they may not have time to bond with their relatives. So this particular holiday gives chance for people to bond around their holiday, their relatives. It's also a day set aside for you to I don't know how we do it here, but it's otherwise we would have to travel out to go and see how will I put it, certain historical sites. Last week, for instance, we had a discussion here about historical sites. This a public holiday serves that kind of, it takes you down memory lane. So if we are commemorating that day, it's an opportunity to learn about what happened on that day. So if it is, if we are talking about 6 March, for instance, the independence, how did it go? You realize that throughout the month of March, the televisions have been playing a lot of footages from the independence era, and it gives the young ones who might not have read much about it the opportunity to know this. So it's a day for us to touch base. It's also a day for you, it provides opportunity for workers to rest their minds. Okay, you work 5 days a week, maybe Saturday you go for association meetings, Sunday you go to church, and then Monday you are back at work. The public holiday within the working day gives you an opportunity to rest. And while resting, it takes away the guilt from you that, am I being lazy? No, so you are resting, so you're able to free your mind, and it will distress you and make you feel all right also. Now, it also has economic benefits, because on that day, people go out to spend money. People go out to spend money. And so all these advantages make public holidays a good thing. The whole thing is that people come back to work refreshed and eager to go ahead. But yet, there is downsides also.
There's a bit about tourism and hospitality too. Exactly. I think you touched on it, because these people who go to those tourist sectors or go to see those places pay money, and the local economy is
encouraged to grow. So that's what I'm saying, that in Ghana, I don't know how effective that is, because on holiday people prefer to sit in their locality. They don't travel. Ghanaians don't travel too much. We don't do local tourism. When you go to most of the tourist sites in Ghana, you see foreigners, okay? Black Americans, Europeans, white Americans, and people from all over the world. You find a few Ghanaians there who are very well to do. Maybe because many Ghanaians see that the money involved in taking that trip may be used for more essential.
It's a money issue.
So it's unfortunate. Otherwise, public holidays also, but within their environment, within their place, they spend also. Okay, that's a day that people lower their guard. Maybe that day they will make some chicken. These days we eat chicken every day. When we were growing up, rice and chicken was for only Christmas.
Christmas.
We take it every day. So yes, it has these economic benefits as well. And then one other significance also is that, as I said, it brings back the issue of the nation building. Okay, for me at civic education is very, very important for me, because on that public holiday, which actually public holiday is also referred to as civic days. These are civic days because they have something to do with the nation. If it's not a religious holiday, then it's a civic holiday or a bank holiday, as they may be put in other jurisdictions. And that day is a day for us to reflect. So you see that there's a lot of documentary on television about the day. And so people have opportunity to reflect and to study more about the day.
I've always been wondering and contemplating the holiday bit, because, you know, in the more advanced countries, you have siblings and friends, and they plan vacations and travel just to go and have fun, just take off the holidays. But here, the leisure is not there. Other than that, I'm sure would have enjoyed the holidays. Let's look at the contrast. Of it. Some have argued that it fuels on productivity, especially small enterprises, and it kills the supply chain. It doesn't. So it's impacts on economy negatively.
It has an impact. But let me quickly add also that small enterprises, business may ignore public holidays. Okay, small businesses, shops normally ignore it. Is the big firms that also take part in it. But the biggest thing is that it breaks the cycle of work. Every week we know that on Monday you are doing A, on Tuesday you are doing B, Wednesday you have a meeting with staff, or you are doing this particular thing, on Thursday is training, and then there's a holiday on Thursday. Means that training for that week is broken. So the next week, what do? Do you ignore what you should have done then, or you pick it from there? So it breaks the cycle of work, and that can also lead to low productivity. And then the other thing also is that it can demoralize some people, because you get better at what you do when you do it every day. But when you break, it means that you have to come back and start all over again. And starting all over again means you have to come with your wits and do all these things, and it may actually lead to confusion. So it breaks, and these are the avenues where you realize that there can be losses if it is not properly managed. And then finally also, it might actually demoralize some people, because, as I said, people work hard and they begin to gain experience on it. But when the progression is broken, it means they have to come back and start again. It may demoralize some people and actually lead to a reduction in productivity. So yes, these are the three main faults that I find with the holiday. But on the whole, research has shown that public holidays do not actually translate into losses as we think it is. It's actually beneficial, because the workers become more productive after the public holiday. Yes.
I like this bit of research, and I'm smiling because I'm sure viewers will be saying in their minds and heads that really, when they take these holidays, they don't rest. They some travel, some do businesses. Imagine you're traveling to Kakum, you are on the road from morning till evening. The time you get back late in the evening, the following day you need to go back to work. So really, you didn't relax. What is intended to do?
There's excitement in what you are going to see. The fact that you are being paid for going to play.
Yes.
Okay. That excitement alone. That even though I've not gone to work today, I'm not losing my work
wage
for that day. I'm being paid to go and actually have a nice time. And your mind is not on the tasks that you normally do. You are going to experience new things. It may actually open up certain parts of your mind that you never know and give you new ideas to come. One of the advantages of holidays is that it gives you opportunity to reinvigorate your thinking and come out with new ideas. So something that might have taken you 5 days to do when you were burned out, you can actually do it one day if you distress and come back to work. So yes, it is actually productive.
So you are shifting it to more of the psychological impact it has on you, because you still stress. Some sell their wares, some go to work, that is when some people put their engagements, their funerals, and once they know a holiday is coming, some church will put activities there. So invariably, you are still occupied.
You are still occupied, but you are not occupied with work. You get a point? Being occupied with work taxes your brain in a different way than being occupied with enjoying yourself. When you're enjoying yourself, there's a release of dopamine that allows you to distress quickly. And that is what the holiday, that is why, for instance, it is against the labor law for you to work 12 months back to back without going on leave. You must go on a leave, you must go home and rest and rejuvenate your thoughts for your own body cells and then for your mindset also. If you keep doing the same thing for a long time, your brain becomes too routine and repetitive. You need to break the routine and then put in other tasks to have new experiences, and that helps a lot in developing your skills as well.
So those who enjoy public holidays and travel and vacation.
And actually, I think Harvard has done some research.
Your advocate is here. He thinks you really need a holiday. Dave, your final thoughts on the discussion so far.
Well, so as I said, public holidays are days that have been put aside by government as a commemorative day to for us to concentrate on a particular issue. And therefore, the holidays are only significant if we bring those, how will I put it? When we bring those ideals to the fore. For instance, Constitution Day. What are the principles of the Constitution? What are its objectives? As I said, they are in the preamble and in chapter 6. Even though the whole Constitution is good for you to read, it's a good day for us to concentrate on these ideals, not on reading the Constitution. As for reading the Constitution, it's every day. And then on 6 March, it's a day that we know that we became Ghanaians. And before then, what was the activities carried out by individuals before we got to this level? People sacrificed their lives. People sacrificed their whole livelihood. People's lives, they would have done different things, but they decided to take on politics. Okay, I was reading somewhere, I think from Gabriel that Kwame Nkrumah was planning to come and set up a restaurant in Ghana. Okay, where he was after studying in America. That was his mind, that he would come to Ghana and then come and set up a restaurant and have a restaurant business. But after going for the conference in UK, his mind changed and he took on a political distance. So public holidays give us opportunity to read about our past, to also commemorate the principles of that particular day. If it is religious, we'll concentrate on the religion, the birth of Christ, for instance. What has it done for us? The resurrection, when it comes to Easter and all that. So the significance is very, very important.
It's very, very important. Yes, I said your final thought, but let me just pick one last one from you. The public holidays. We realize some have been declared commemorative. Others say you can still sell statutory, so it's a holiday. What goes into that? How do they decide and just come and change a holiday? What is the process like? Okay,
I'm not particularly aware of what went into the declaration of certain days as commemorative and others as public holiday, because I think the act came up in 2019, and then regrettably 1st July was taken off, and May 25th was also taken off. Okay, now the Republic, I don't know what went into that, but the good news is that it was replaced by Constitution Day, and then the Africa Day was also replaced by Founders Day. So the number of days was not affected. It was just that the days were shifted to focus on other areas of the nation building aspect that we wanted to focus on. I think now the focus was coming more onto the Constitution and onto Ghana than on Pan-Africanism and Republicanism. So maybe that is why the focus came. But I don't know what actually goes into declaring certain days commemorative and others.
But it certainly goes through the legislative process. Definitely. It has to go to Parliament for our people to, as it were, ascertain its feasibility and usefulness. Then they pass their votes, and then it becomes a law. Once it's law, it has to be executed. It must be implemented. So is there a cap? Well, we can still have more holidays as we are going, so that we get to the part where we have like 37 to 39 holidays.
We just discussed that some countries had 39.
So we can go as far as we
well, maybe I think this is okay for now.
For now, we should manage
because if we have 12 months in a year and we have 13 holidays, it means that we are having too many holidays.
Too many holidays.
Yeah, so I think it's okay for now.
So viewers, you just heard David Agbenu. Mauli Agbenu, my bad, forgive me. Mauli Agbenu is the Greater Accra Regional Director for the National Commission for Civic Education. He's been helping us in understanding and appreciating the various holidays that we have on the Ghanaian calendar. Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you very much, Mauli, as always, for coming to help us understand and appreciate the issues. And you viewers too, thank you very much. So public holidays, they say, there are times that we reflect on our traditions, on our values, and our place in the world as a people. So enjoy the holiday. Like Mauli said, it is a time to refresh and be more productive. Join us again on Wednesday. My name is Gabriel, new to Ankrah. Goodbye.